Walking into my six-person 12th grade Tanakh class, a stranger might feel slightly bemused. After all, our eclectic mix of personalities can occasionally produce an unconventional classroom environment. For example, a stranger might feel slightly uneasy seeing one student secretly hide a Quran behind his Tanakh as he analyzes its grammatical structure, while another student reacts to King David by professing his own fear of romantic attachments, while another student, the class's lone female, issues her daily vilified diatribe against all males, who, apparently, are conspiring to conquer the world through a long-planned misogynistic revolution aimed at ridding the world of feminine freedom and dedicated to enslaving the world under its chauvinistic rule. Her words, not mine. While this amalgam of students might seem unique, we all bring to the classroom our distinctive backgrounds, which contribute seeds to the rich academic environment that blossoms in our Tanakh class. Our individual personalities create an atmosphere that fosters passionate intellectual discourse. Not surprisingly, of all our classes this year, Tanakh forced many of us to restructure our beliefs in the most profound ways. In particular, studying Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel's understanding of the prophets in our Tanakh class and during our weekly senior seminars catalyzed the evolution of our intellectual, spiritual, and religious journeys at Heschel. Rabbi Heschel's interpretation of the prophets concentrates on, first, the prophets' divine pathos, which was their ability to view humanity through the discerning eyes of the divine, and to grieve over the flaws in society that normally only God can recognize. Second, Heschel focused on the prophet's ability to elicit a sense of obligation and responsibility for communal action. In his essay entitled The Reasons for My Involvement in the Peace Movement, Heschel wrote, "The more deeply immersed I became in the thinking of the prophets, the more powerfully it became clear to me what the lives of the prophets sought to convey. That, morally speaking, there is no limit one must feel for the suffering of human beings. It also became clear to me that in regards to cruelties committed in a free society, some are guilty while all are responsible. Thou shalt not stand idly by the blood of your neighbor. This is not a suggestion, but an imperative, a supreme commandment." For Heschel, the prophets were a motivation to spread compassion across the world. For Heschel, not only the iniquitous have injured the world, we have a shared responsibility to ensure our common destiny and success. In Rabbi Heschel's book, Security of Freedom, he expanded upon his conception of prophecy. He wrote, "This is what the prophets discovered. History is a nightmare. There are more scandals, more acts of corruption than are dreamed of in philosophy. It would be blasphemous to believe that what we witness today is the end of God's creation. It is an act of evil to accept the state of evil as either inevitable or final. The way man acts is a disgrace, and it must not continue forever. Others may be satisfied with improvement. The prophets insist upon redemption." Heschel understood that humanity rarely rises from the valleys of injustice. Yet he also realized our shared duty to lead others in ascending these ridges into a promised age free of evil. The great dreamer, Martin Luther King Jr., once declared, "He who passively accepts evil is as much involved in it as he who helps to perpetrate it. He who accepts evil without protesting against it is really cooperating with it. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter." According to King, only when we each contribute our share can we produce transformational miracles. Heschel and King both recognize the prophet's message. No virtuous person can sit by silently and ignore the threat of injustice and suffering. Fellow graduates, nearly every age must contend with what Heschel called the hydra of injustice. 40 years from now, our children will remember us as the generation that graduated in the clutch of the Great Recession. And the magnitude of this recession must be commensurate to our response. Our economy's profound decline reflects that the age of decadence has departed. The era of excess has receded. In their wake, we must now herald in a new age, an age of prophecy, an age when kindness overwhelms hostility and humanitarianism conquers egotism, an age when we decry injustice wherever it may arise, and when we stir all citizens of the world to permanently ameliorate such injustice. Yet, we cannot assume the arrival of such an era. Winston Churchill once declared, "Destiny is not a matter of chance, it is a matter of choice. It is not a thing to be waited for, it is a thing to be achieved." So in the symphony of voices filling the world, how will our collective voice contribute? Will we clamor to champion only our self-interest, leaving cacophony in our wake? Or will we echo the sounds and the voices of our modern prophets, resounding the principles of ask what you can do for your country, and I have a dream, and yes, we can. Rabbi Heschel proclaimed, what is called for is not a silent sigh, but a voice of moral compassion and indignation, the sublime and inspired screaming of a prophet uttered by a whole community. Heschel's vision of universal prophetic inspiration is not a distant fantasy. It is within our reach. We need only the will to grasp it. So let us reach out and cry together the inspired scream of a prophet. In the face of ever-ravaging warfare, we take an oath of prophecy to extinguish acrimony from our midst by encouraging universal tolerance and understanding. In the face of the great injustice of indifference, we take an oath of prophecy, in Heschel's words, to ensure that our voices, ringing with force and dignity, will pierce through the world's iron shield of dormant conscience. In the face of environmental abuse, we declare today, so that today's leaders know tomorrow a new generation will rise above the problems they have piled on us. We take an oath of prophecy to protect the world around us by ceasing to poison nature with harmful pollutants. In the face of growing poverty, we pronounce loud enough so that our parents hear our voices, so that Washington, D.C. hears our voices, the whole world hears our voices. We take an oath of prophecy to extend a munificent hand to all in need. Sadly, cynics in nearly every era threaten to overpower the cries of injustice. But we have learned the terrors of history, and we have seen how the fires from yesterday's evils are rekindled today. For we have seen 6 million perish. We have seen buses in Tel Aviv transformed into infernos, and we have seen 2 towers crumble to the ground. Yet in the face of all these assaults of evil, in the face of this onslaught of cynicism, we declare enough. And we answer with our 6-word, timeless maxim: we take an oath of prophecy. Rabbi Heschel once proclaimed, at the end of days, evils will be conquered by the one. But in historic times, evils must be conquered one by one. Fellow graduates, each one of us have the power to become a prophet of tomorrow. Each one of us have the capacity to change the world. So I present each one of us with a challenge. How will we embrace our oath, usher an age of prophecy, and help change the world? Hadran alach sifrei nevi'im v'hadrachalan, da'atan alach sifrei nevi'im v'da'tachalan, lo nitnashe minach sifrei nevi'im v'lo titnashi minan, lo v'alma hadain v'lo v'alma da'ti. Congratulations, graduates.